I'm currently up at Waiheke Island, which is north of Auckland in New Zealand. I'm here for a few weeks, and I don't have my full rig with me, so things might be a little bit different over the next daily decibels, maybe a different resolution, and I only have one screen, so you have to see this stuff going on here. What I want to be doing over the next videos is an update to the DJ Megaset Pro 3. So I want to release a 3.2 version, and I've got a list of new features that I want to add, and some of the stuff I've never really played with before, so there's going to be a bit of learning and me fumbling along. It's all going to be pretty much max based as well. If you're in the daily decibels for the more production based stuff, don't worry, I'll make sure I'll do some of those soon, but you guys seem to enjoy the Max for Live stuff, so that's what we're going to be looking at for the next videos. Now in this deck strip here, this deck strip of course controls the decks, which have all of the kind of single track controls. You can see here we've got all of our controls for the deck. It has an effects area, and what I want to be able to do is create a record custom LFO function for these parameters. So currently there is a modulation area or an LFO which allows us to modify various things. We can modify these parameters, so amount, time, feedback, A and B, but that's just a standard LFO, a sine wave, triangle, blah blah blah. I want to be able to either hold a button down or push a button for a predefined time, so maybe a bar or something, tweak one of these knobs, and then when I release it or when the time ends, it starts repeating that over and over, because when I'm using this, quite often I'll find I'll be doing an effect tweak, I'll be doing something live, and I'm like, that'll be really cool, I want that to repeat, but I have to do it myself, and then I can't move on to something else. So this is a way of recording a short custom LFO. So looking under the hood here, I've been thinking about ways that I can do this. The first thing that sprung to mind is using a buffer object. So a buffer stores audio information or waveforms, but it doesn't have to be an audible waveform. It could be just data that we play back. But then I thought that might be a little bit too much, so I started looking at other objects that we might be able to use here, and I came across one called MTR. Oh, not MTF, MTR. And I've never used this before, I've never even heard about it. And so today I'm going to be looking at this. We're going to be looking at this for the first time. So let's open it up. Open up the help file and have a look. So MTR, record and sequence messages. Record and sequence messages. Okay. So it looks like, okay, for a start it looks like it has multiple tracks, which is interesting and good for us because that probably means we only need one of them. Remember, we're going to be working with 5 parameters that we want to record the changes of. Maybe I'll extend that to even record things like the filters and the EQs, but for now let's just focus on, well, we'll focus on one parameter. So we've got some kind of transport controls here that go into this inlet. Record, stop, play, and clear, so they're all pretty straightforward. Here we have record messages of any type. So we can send it an integer, a float value, or a bang. Or over here we can send it a symbol or a list, which is interesting. It kind of opens up potential future possibilities as well. Control individual tracks. So I don't really know how the tracks system works. We've got quite a few other help things here. I'm going to have a look through these. Playback. Okay, we've got a loop mode. That's real handy for what we need. I'm not sure how I'm going to trigger this if it's in sync. There's a sync tab here. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Okay. So we can start the playback at specific points. Okay, so that's cool. So we kind of have an offset parameter here. We have a wait period and a delay time. Okay, let's look at recording. Okay, so we can define the length before we hit record. That's handy. So we can set the length here, play, stop, loop. This is just for using the keyboard to trigger stuff. Let's just have a look at this. Define the length for all traps and stop recording. Let's just see what happens when I move some of these. Stop, play. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, sync. Use the sync to synchronize the entire playback with transport. Okay. Set the name of the transport to use. Okay, so this is good. We should be able to sync this with the BPM easily. So that's good. We don't have to do any super hacky stuff. We will probably need to... I'm probably going to go with pushing a button for a predefined loop. So we'll have like a bar, or maybe a quarter of a bar, half a bar, bar, 2 bars, 4 bars. So when I hit a button and tweak a dial, it will record for that fixed period and it will stop and automatically play. That might be a bit easier for me to manage than holding down a button. We'll see. Okay, so it kind of stores this stuff into a dictionary. Probably not too useful for us. That's just good if we want to dump out the contents. Okay, editing. Binding. Bind individual UI objects to an MTR channel without patch cords. Okay, so these, let's have a look here. So these have scripting names. So we've got S1, S2, and S3. And we can, it seems like we can bind, this is real handy. So we'll probably use this for our parameters. So these are automatically bound. We don't have to use patch cables or anything. So let's try this. So I'm going to go record, move this, move this, move this. Let's go stop, play. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, this is going to make things a real breeze, so I'm happy about that. I just want to check out the loop mode. So let's just go open up the loop mode attribute and enable that. Let's just go play. 1, 2. This is interesting. Okay. So it seems like these are all running on their own individual time. So this one's looping by itself, this one's looping by itself, and this one's looping by itself. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll figure it out. What else have we got here? Stepping. So we can... This is a really powerful object. I'm really surprised that I haven't come across this before. So this allows us to step to the next events. Storage. Okay, so we can write and read to JSON files. Maybe that's handy. I'm not sure. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just try and build something ourselves with a basic MTR here. I'm just going to put in a live dial. This is just a real test prototype situation. So what do we got here? Here's our transport controls. Well, I'll just borrow these and we'll put them here. We'll connect these to each one of these message boxes. Here we have track 1 record control input. So we're going to send this through to here. So this live dial sends a value of, I'm going to do this in a new window. So this live dial says 0 to 127. Okay. The outlets, what do we have here? We have outputs list with track and duration. And this is the output. So this is the input and the output. So if I connect this back into here, this should just create a nice loop for us. So if I go record, tweak, 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 stop, play. Look at that. That is awesome. Okay, let's add another track. Do I want to add another track? Okay, let's try it anyway for an experiment. So MTR2. Okay. So let's just duplicate this. Connect this to here. Man, it is humid today. We've been having electrical storms, which is awesome. What happens if I go play when I haven't tweaked this? Let's have a look. Okay, so let's remember that. Let's go record. Let's see what happens when I record just one and not the other one. Stop. Play. Okay, interesting. Okay, stop. I'm going to go record, tweak, 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 stop, play. Okay, I'm going to put this in loop mode again. What was this mode value? That might help us with this problem. So the issue I saw before was it was getting to the end of each track and then immediately looping, whereas I want that kind of blank space, so the loop is the exact same time for all of these. That might be what the mode does. Timing, no. Loop selection. Okay, bit of rings. Sets the playback selection of all tracks. Well, what did the mode option do? I don't know what that does. Anyway, so we've turned looping on. Let's go record. Yeah, so see how it's almost like when I stop tweaking the particular value, it's considered the end. It's not recording the blank space. So there must be one of these options that allow us to record that blank space. Well, let's try using a fixed time. Okay, I'm going to go back to the help file. Recording. Reset the sequence length and begin recording. Okay, what is the length? Length of all tracks. Is this in milliseconds? I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. So we need to send this a value of... Let's try 1,000. Play. Okay, so that seems to be working. Okay, I'm just going to change this to something bigger. So I'm going to go record. Down, up, all the way up, down, up. Stop, play. Is this the same each time? Okay, I believe it is. So that's good. I think that solves our problem there. Now let's take a look at the sync mode. So sync mode. Set quantization. Alright. So let's open up our attributes here and go transport. I wonder if I can use this with Ableton Live. So what I'm going to do is put this back into here because this patch is contained within Ableton Live. So I'm going to play this. So the transport is now moving along. Let's open this up. We'll go, oh look, transport live, loop. So do I need to give this, changing the speed's cool. That's actually really cool. Quantize. So I mean, how do I define whether it's a bar or 2 bars or whatever? Let's just go record. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Play. I'm going to have to look at that help file again. The event timing is stored in ticks rather than milliseconds. Turning sync on and off when recording will produce timing irregularities. So do I have to send this a quantize? Why are we not getting a quantize option? I mean, it's not letting, the pop-up wasn't coming up, so I'll just see if I can paste it and connect them manually. Quantize 0 ticks. If that said 480, I'm not too sure how the whole ticks thing works. Let's give it a shot. Let's send this in here. Reset this back to 0. Okay, let's go stop, record, play. Now it's doing the thing again, so somehow I need to be able to set the length to the right timing. Okay, I might do a bit of Googling. I'll stop the video there. Hopefully you're following along and enjoying this stuff. I enjoy this very much, learning all about this stuff. Alrighty, I will see you in the next video.